The country club ballroom was decorated with silver and gold balloons. 40 years of service banners hung from the ceiling. 200 guests filled the room, celebrating my father's career at Morrison Technologies. I stood near the back with my husband James and our 2 kids, trying to keep 8-year-old Maya and 6-year-old Lucas calm. James taught 5th grade. Maya wore a Target dress. Lucas had already spilled juice on his shirt. We looked exactly like what we were, a middle-class family at a luxury event. Dad took the microphone, flushed from champagne. 40 years of building this company into a national powerhouse. The crowd applauded. My brother Kevin cheered from the front row. My sister Amanda smiled proudly in her designer dress. I've sacrificed everything for Morrison Technologies, Dad continued. His eyes found me in the back. Some sacrifices were harder than others. My eldest daughter married a public school teacher. Lives in a modest house. Drives a 7-year-old Honda. He shook his head. Your loser family ruins my retirement image. The room went quiet. Kevin laughed first. Dad's just being honest. Amanda raised her glass. To Dad's honesty. Some of us maintain the family standards. I felt Maya grip my hand. Mom? Why is Grandpa being mean? It's okay, sweetie, I whispered. Dad continued. I wanted all my children here, but Sarah, you could have at least dressed the kids better. This is a professional event. James leaned close. We can leave. No. Let him finish. Dad launched into career stories, making himself the hero. He talked about his executive pension, the consulting retainer, the board seat he'd keep in retirement. $65,000 a month, he announced. That's what loyalty gets you. Kevin whistled. Amanda clapped. The new CEO personally approved my package. Called it the most generous in company history. I checked my phone. Monday morning would be different. The party continued. People approached Dad to congratulate him. Kevin worked the room, introducing himself as Richard Sullivan's son. Amanda cornered me near dessert. You could have at least tried. You embarrassed Dad. I'm wearing a dress. From where? Walmart. She smoothed her Oscar de la Renta gown. You made us all look bad. He called my family losers. If the shoe fits. She glanced at James helping Lucas. I smiled and said nothing. By 10 the kids were falling asleep. We headed for the exit, passing Dad's table. Leaving early? Dad called out. Can't afford a babysitter? Kevin snorted. The kids are tired, I said evenly. They're always your excuse. This is why you never advanced anywhere. I looked at him. You're right, Dad. I never sacrificed my family for advancement. Good night. In the car, James gripped the wheel. I've never wanted to punch someone so badly. I know. I typed a message. Monday morning. 8 a.m. sharp. Conference room A. Attendance mandatory. Richard Sullivan. Response. Confirmed. HR and legal will be present. Sunday passed slowly. Dad posted party photos on Facebook with congratulations flooding the comments. Monday morning I woke at 5:30. Put on my charcoal gray suit. James made coffee. Good luck today. Won't need it. I arrived at Morrison Technologies at 7:15. The lobby guard smiled. Good morning, Miss Sullivan. My office was on the executive floor, a corner suite overlooking the city. Patricia had coffee ready. HR and legal are waiting. Your father arrived 10 minutes ago looking confused. Perfect. Let's begin at 8 exactly. At 8 o'clock I walked into the conference room. Dad sat at the table with Kevin beside him. Our HR director, Linda Martinez, sat across from them with our chief legal counsel, David Park. Dad looked annoyed. What's this about? I got a message that attendance was mandatory. I'm retired. Nothing's mandatory anymore. Good morning, Dad. I took the seat at the head of the table. Thanks for coming in. I don't appreciate cryptic messages. I have a tea time at 9. This won't take long. I nodded to Linda. Please proceed. Linda opened her folder. Mr. Sullivan, we need to discuss your retirement package. Dad leaned back confidently. The most generous in company history. Already approved by the CEO himself. About that, I said quietly. He looked at me for the first time. Really looked. He took in the suit, the position at the head of the table, the way Linda and David deferred to me. What are you doing here? He asked slowly. I work here, Dad. You said you worked in finance consulting. I do. For Morrison Technologies. Have for 12 years. Kevin frowned. Wait, you work here? In what, accounting? Not exactly. I slid a document across the table. Linda, please explain Mr. Sullivan's retirement package status. Linda cleared her throat. As of this morning, your pension and retirement benefits have been frozen pending review. Dad's face went red. Frozen? On whose authority? Mine, I said simply. You're nobody. You don't have the authority to freeze anything. David spoke up, his legal voice calm and precise. 6 months ago, Morrison Technologies underwent a leadership transition. The board of directors appointed a new CEO. That CEO has full authority over all personnel decisions, including retirement packages. I know that, Dad snapped. I've known the new CEO for years. He approved my package personally. No, I said. She didn't. The room went absolutely silent. Dad stared at me. What? The new CEO is me, Dad. I've been CEO of Morrison Technologies for 6 months. Kevin's mouth fell open. Dad looked like he'd been slapped. That's impossible, Dad said finally. You have a nothing job. I was CFO for 8 years before the promotion. Before that, VP of Financial Operations. Before that, Director of Strategic Planning. Kept my voice even. I started in the analyst program 12 years ago, right out of graduate school. Might you remember? The business degree you said was a waste because I should have just married well instead. The board wouldn't. The board voted unanimously. I increased revenue by 43% in my first 6 months. Expanded into 3 new markets. Negotiated the merger with Techline that you called impossible. Linda slid another document across. This shows the organizational chart. Sarah Sullivan, Chief Executive Officer, reports directly to the board of directors. Dad grabbed the paper, staring at it as if it might change if he looked hard enough. So Saturday night, I continued, when you told 200 people that my loser family ruins your retirement image, you were talking about the CEO who controls your pension. Kevin found his voice. This is insane. How did we not know? Bez, I didn't tell you. I kept Sullivan as my professional name but used my full legal name, Sarah Sullivan Martinez, in all company communications. None of you ever asked about my work in detail. You assumed. Dad's hands trembled on the paper. The $65,000 a month was approved by my predecessor based on your original position and contributions. However, as the new CEO, I'm required to review all executive compensation packages, especially ones that are, quote, the most generous in company history. You can't do this. I absolutely can. Linda, what did our compensation analysis show? Linda didn't need to check her notes. The standard pension for Mr. Sullivan's position and tenure would be $38,000 monthly. The approved package of $65,000 represents a 71% premium over comparable executives. And the justification for that premium? The documentation cites long-term loyalty and relationship with executive leadership. Relationship with leadership that no longer exists, I said, since I'm now the leadership, and our relationship was publicly defined Saturday as my loser family ruining your image. Dad's face had gone from red to pale. Sir, come on. I was drinking. It was a joke. Was it? Was it a joke when you called James a loser for being a teacher? Was it a joke when you said my kids dressed like poverty cases? Was it a joke when you spent 12 years telling me I wasted my potential by not marrying rich? Kevin tried to intervene. Dad didn't mean it literally. Then he'll be fine with the literal standard pension of $38,000 instead of $65,000. That's a $27,000 monthly difference, Dad said, his voice cracking. I'm aware. It's $324,000 annually. Over a 20-year retirement projection, that's $6,480,000. I met his eyes. That's what Saturday night's speech cost you. The board won't allow this. David spoke again. The board has full confidence in Ms. Sullivan's compensation decisions. In fact, they've requested she review all legacy executive packages for market alignment. Dad looked desperately at Kevin. Do something. What am I supposed to do? She's the CEO. There's more, Linda said quietly. The consulting retainer, the board seat, the executive club memberships. All of those were tied to the premium package. How much total? Dad whispered. I pulled up the spreadsheet on my tablet. Premium pension, consulting retainer, board stipend, club memberships, executive health benefits beyond standard retiree coverage. Total value of approximately $800,000 annually. And without the premium? Standard pension, standard retiree benefits. About $460,000 annually. Kevin did the math in his head. That's a $340,000 difference. Per year, I confirmed. Over 20 years, about $6.8 million. Dad slumped in his chair. You're destroying my retirement over one comment. Not one comment. 12 years of comments. 12 years of you telling me I failed because I chose teaching my husband over money. 12 years of you dismissing my career while I was building this. I gestured around the executive conference room. You never once asked what I actually did. You just assumed. I thought you worked in some entry-level finance job. I run a $4.2 billion company. I manage 8,000 employees across 6 states. I negotiate contracts worth hundreds of millions. And I do it while driving my 7-year-old Honda and living in my average neighborhood because that's where my family is happy. The door opened and Patricia stepped in. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the board meeting starts in 15 minutes. I stood. Thank you, Linda David. Please finalize the revised retirement package and send it to Mr. Sullivan for signature. Dad found one more argument. What about my reputation? People will ask why my package changed. Tell them the new CEO reviews all compensation for market alignment. That's true. Or tell them you publicly insulted the CEO's family and she adjusted accordingly. Also true. Your choice. I walked toward the door, then paused. Oh, and Dad? That country club membership you're losing, the one you've bragged about for 20 years? I'm the one who got Morrison Tech to sponsor it in the first place. 5 years ago when I was CFO. You're welcome. In the hallway, Patricia walked with me toward the boardroom. That was intense. Necessary. I checked my reflection in a window, straightening my jacket. Any other fires this morning? 3. But nothing you can't handle. The board meeting ran 2 hours. Strategic planning, merger review, expansion opportunities. I presented quarterly financials showing continued growth. Board Chair Margaret Chin stopped me afterward. Your father seemed shaken this morning. Family matter. The compensation review was appropriate. Agreed. He studied me. He really didn't know you were CEO. He never asked. His loss. You're the best CEO this company has had in 30 years. Back in my office I had 17 messages. 3 from Kevin demanding I reconsider. 2 from Amanda. 1 from my mother. None from Dad himself. I deleted them all and called James. How did it go? He asked. He knows now. And? His pension dropped by $27,000 a month. That's a lot of money. It's market standard for his position. Every other executive gets the same. Still feels personal. It is personal. He humiliated us in front of 200 people. He called you a loser, our kids poorly dressed. I looked out at the skyline. He did that to the person controlling his retirement. Do you feel better? I feel fair. He'll still get $460,000 a year. He just won't get rewarded for cruelty. That evening I picked up the kids like always. Made dinner, helped with homework. Our routine unchanged. At bedtime Maya asked, "Did you fix the thing with Grandpa?" I addressed it, yes. Good. You shouldn't let people be mean to you. You're absolutely right. After the kids were asleep, James and I sat on the back porch. Kevin texted me, he said. Called me some names. Said you're destroying the family. What did you say? I said his dad destroyed himself by insulting a CEO to her face, and maybe the family should have asked questions before making assumptions. I smiled. I love you. I love you too, loser family and all. 3 weeks later, Dad signed the revised retirement package. He had no choice. The original offer expired and the standard package was all that remained. Amanda stopped speaking to me entirely. Kevin sent one final message calling me petty and vindictive before blocking my number. Mom called once. Was it worth it? Breaking up the family over money? I didn't break up anything. I just stopped subsidizing people who hate me. He doesn't hate you. He called my family losers in front of 200 people. At minimum, he doesn't respect me. Why should I reward that? She had no answer. Morrison Technologies thrived. Q4 exceeded projections. The Techline merger completed ahead of schedule. Industry publications ran features about the youngest female CEO in the tech sector. Dad saw the Forbes article. I know because Mom mentioned it. He says congratulations, she told me stiffly. Tell him thanks. He wants to have lunch. Talk about things. I'm booked through March. I wasn't lying. Running a $4 billion company doesn't leave much time for family reconciliation, especially with family members who need to lose $6 million before they consider apologizing. Maya asked once if we'd see Grandpa at Christmas. Probably not this year, sweetie. Because he was mean? Because he hasn't learned yet that being mean has consequences. Will he learn? I thought about Dad in his reduced retirement, watching other executives get the packages he'd lost, knowing his daughter controlled all of it. Maybe, I said. People can learn. If they want to. 6 months after the retirement party, my assistant forwarded an email. Dad had written to my corporate address, formal and stiff. Dear Miss Sullivan, I would appreciate the opportunity to discuss my retirement package at your convenience. Respectfully, Richard Sullivan. I stared at it for a long time. Then I hit delete and went back to work. The loser family had a company to run.